Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Thoreau. Greetings, I'm Deanna Joy. I talk with my hands, so holding a cell phone and trying to talk is like having one wing tied and trying to fly. But I'm going to do what I can. This is my entranceway. I love passionately arched doorways. People write on my wall. This is a quick scan. And this is crazy. I'm going to try this. I can't go from beginning to start at the beginning type of a thing and tell my story. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to do little snippets, like a patchwork crazy quilt, because my life has been kind of crazy. So the fact, yes, one hand is tied holding the phone. It will go numb. I can't in one thing tell a whole lot of what led up to it, but I'm going to tell you one amazing event that started me on quite a journey. After 11 children, 6 biological, 5 step for 17 years, I got the courage to leave more than abusive relationship. That being said, I was living in the side of a stable, friends that raise and breed horses and have a lot of trophies, gorgeous place in the middle of the woods. There was a little apartment built, about 1,000 square feet, a 2-story, delightful. I lived there, left 10th of March 2008, and I lived in that stable apartment, stable, no pun intended, yes, for 3 months. Spring budding out, it was snow and then spring and the baby horses coming into the world, and it was delightful. It was quiet, I was isolated, and it was a lot of time to gain confidence and connection with who I was and what I needed to do next. One day, well, let's see. Wow, how do I say this? It's connected with so much. I could write books, but it would be volumes. One day after a conversation with my sister on the phone, I had come across a magazine which had a picture of something I had purchased at a Goodwill store years before that, which resonated, and I didn't know why it was so powerful. And I was talking to her about it, and I had this inspiration. I said, Kathy, I'm a nester. I need a nest. I just a little cottage, a nest. I just need a nest, just sufficient for me to live and to find myself and to find that peace and until my wings are ready to fly, till I'm strong enough to be my full potential self. I'm going to go draw one. So I got a canvas out that I recently drawn. At that time, only one picture before that had I added color. I always just did pen and ink. One picture before, might as well show it. I had added, walking into the other room, I had added pastel. Let's see, I've got this facing me so I can't see if you can see that. That was my first that I added color. I was missing the seaside, and so I did that. Okay, that being said. Okay, so I'm drawing this picture, right? And I did add pastel, and I will show it to you. And it's this manifestation. Every time I draw a picture, I have no idea what I'm going to do, and to this day, I'll tell you about that later. It just happens. So I'm drawing this picture. It is me, and there's all this stuff going on, and let me just show it to you. Now, I've got this facing me, so I have to turn it somehow and get the picture in. Let's see if you can see that whole, I don't know if this light. Okay, so I do this, and I'm saying there's this archway, which I'm passionate about, arch doorways. And I said I was going to draw a picture of a cottage. Well, obviously that's not what happened. It's called The Cottage Builder because that's what it said it was called. And there, that's me. And obviously, well, not so obvious anymore. Anyway, I am saying to myself, there is this archway manifesting. Why is it manifesting the doorway to the cottage right in front of a big tree? Bad feng shui. That makes no sense. You don't have a doorway in front of a tree. Why is that there? And I had this peaceful feeling of, you will soon know. It will soon be apparent. It's where it's supposed to be. So here I've got I can't see what I'm pointing at. Somebody needs to tell me how to switch it from, I'm going to point my finger because I can't tell where I am. The shoes are off. At that time, I had a problem with my feet and I couldn't walk without those orthotics. Well, I'm barefoot today. It's full of symbolism that I didn't plan on. It just took place and manifested. So with that in mind, I'll go back to talking because I can't hold this where it needs to be. I guess I could stand in front of it. Sure, I could. So I'm questioning why I'm doing what I'm doing and why the archway's in front of the tree and makes no sense, and I'm having the feeling it's supposed to be there, and I very soon will know why. Well, after I finished it, a few days later, I was going through a stack of papers, and I came across a business card that I had lost. A couple years before that, the Master Gardeners, I'm going to sit down here, the Master Gardeners had used my garden on their tour, and I met a lot of people, and it was awesome to get all the oohs and ahs over all my labor of love. Anyway, I'd met one woman that I didn't remember her name. She had told me about something that her and her husband were doing, and some kind of retreat or something. Anyway, I came across this card and I thought, Birdsong Center, that's got to be her. So I called and she said, Deanna Joy, I'm just in nearby town doing a health fair, doing chair massage. Come by. Can you come by and we'll talk? I did. I went. It was like old friends week. And she told me, come by in the morning, we'll have a cup of tea and sit out and watch the sunrise with the birds singing. And it turns out her place, Birdsong Center, was just down the road, within walking distance of where I was staying in the stable. And I went and drove up the driveway, and long driveway to this big house with a wraparound balcony, and it was gorgeous, and we sat and we listened to the songbirds, and it was amazing, peaceful and beautiful and quiet. Her husband came out. I met him. He was impressed that I could speak more than one language. He spoke many because not a lot of people in the States do. We were talking and I told her briefly what I had been going through and where I was at, and she looked at me and said, Deanna Joy, how would you like to live in the treehouse? My mouth drops open. I'm salivating and I'm saying, that's my life dream, to live in a treehouse all my life. I'm going on and on the way I can do about how much I wanted to live in the treehouse my whole life. It's been a dream of mine. And she said, would you like to see the treehouse? And this is real. And we walked around the back, the property, right at the edge of the woods. And there was the treehouse. Well, I moved in there. And I lived there for 9 months, through that summer and the winter, through snow and all, and gained, I grew my wings and my voice. The sea monster had taken my literal voice, my singing voice, some years before. And I'd missed that. I can talk, but singing only the blues. I was a soprano. Well, I am not anymore. Anyway, she sang, and she has a master's degree in music therapy, and it was amazing. And her mother and her aunt and her 2 children and her husband lived there, and I lived in the treehouse, and it was amazing. I keep saying that word, but awesome. I gained a lot of confidence. So I'm looking at this picture that I did of my little, I need a tree. I said, remember I told my sister, I'm a nester. I just need a little nest, a little place where I can heal and gain my confidence and my wings before I'm ready to fly. Well, the picture with the manifestation, or the arch doorway manifesting right in front of the tree, thinking bad feng shui, right in front of the tree, not cool, doesn't make sense. Well, anyway, you get it. So I'm in a tree house. So it was kind of a prophetic drawing. And I lived there, and during that time, she kept asking me to teach classes there. I said, no, I can't. I'm too wounded. I don't have confidence. I couldn't. One day she came home and announced to me, she had talked to them at the college and told them about me, and they want me to teach classes. And we can name them. I'm going to teach a jewelry class. I'm going to teach a horticultural arts. And I did. And it was I went there and they talked to me. I said, college, I didn't finish high school. I got married at 15, dropped out after 10th grade. I don't even have a GED. Deanna, they know that. It doesn't matter. It's continuing ed. You don't need it. It's all right. They're going to love you. You're going to do good. Just go and meet them in the morning. So I did. And I taught the classes, and I got good reviews, and it was wonderful, and I loved it, every moment of it. It was transforming. And then I did other classes, teaching fairy gardening, and I did a big one at the college, and I did pizza gardening. Oh, I've got stories. I'll tell that one later about, what I discovered and what I shared with the people at the Ag Week. Yeah, so many stories. So there I am, and I'm teaching, and I'm learning, and I'm gaining confidence and all. So much happened, and then they were going to be transferred to overseas to Europe. And I am looking for a house, and I am checking everywhere. Long story short, I get lost in these mountains, and wow. Yeah. Anyway, I almost buy a house, and 5 minutes before I was to sign the papers, I went and looked at it, and there were problems that I broke down and cried and called the realtor and said, Houston, we've got a problem. We have a problem. I can't buy this house, blah, blah, blah. And she came, and they made all kinds of offers to make things right. I said, I can't do this. And it cost me. I had to pay all the closing costs and lost my down payment. And afterwards, she took me aside and said to me, just between you and me, you made the right choice. You made the right decision. I said, yeah, I know. It's like being enrolled. It was my fee for another education, another class. So I didn't buy the house, but then I went and had lunch somewhere, met somebody. It's such an amazing story. I'd like to tell more of it. Maybe I will tell more later. Anyway, long story short, I met somebody, there was some communication and all, and later I got a call from this person who said, I think I found your house. You mentioned your blogs, and it says for sale by owner. I got online, looked at it, that's my house. I called them, they just put it on the market. I said, it'll take me an hour and a half to drive there. I'll be there. I walked in. We hit it off. She had a guitar sitting in the corner. She was expecting her second baby. Amazing people. I said, this is my house. I'm pre-approved for a loan, and this is how much I can pay. This is what they wanted for it, such and such. I said, I can't pay that much, but I can pay this. This is what I can pay. I'm pre-approved. There's no checking. I can just do it right away. And this is my house. And she said she'd have to talk to her husband. I went and had a sandwich. He came, and there's this woman, and she has a painting, and all this stuff about the tree house and all. It was wonderful. And they decided it's your house. And so when I came back to her house, walked through the doorway, which I showed you at the beginning, and I said, well, they said, we'll sell you the house for what the price you want. I said, well, I knew that. And then she said, Deanna Joy, would you like to see the rest of the house? Just like, would you like to see the tree house? I hadn't done anything except step inside the front door when I was ready to buy. I said, oh, sure, yeah. So I looked at the house, and then she was nervous to show me the backyard because there was nothing but dirt and weeds. I mean, there wasn't anything there. I said, whoa, new canvas, blank slate. I said, okay, I can bring this to life, which I certainly have. So I told them about the painting, and then March 10th is when I left the bad marriage relationship. And March 10th, I spent the first night in the house. There were problems with the way some paper the bank had filed incorrectly, so I didn't get to sign the papers till March 11th. So this is 1 year to the day. March 10th I left, March 10th I spent the first night in this house, my house, and signed the papers the next day. I slept on, they had a blow-up mattress, but it was too cold in that room, and I cuddled down, and I slept on the floor, and it was a long night. An interesting little fact, when I went to get my license plate for my car, for my new registration, I picked it up, and it said 311 ARI. And I'm walking, and I have this impression, this means something, there's a message here. I said, and I put the letters for the numbers, and it didn't mean anything. And I sat in my car and said, I had the impression, sit here until you get the message. And okay, 3 ABC. No, I see, that means nothing. 311. Oh, March 11th. And so I say out loud in my car, I said, 311, March 11th. Yeah, well, March 11th is significant. I signed the papers, but March 11th, I was already in my house. I look at the license plate again. Deanna, do you get it? 311, March 11th, ARI, already in. Yep, just a little another confirmation. Numbers turn up in my life all the time. In fact, my address, the 3 numbers of my address, are the same as the county road I lived off of in both the stable apartment and in the Birdsong Center treehouse. They're in a different order, but the same 3 numbers. It's amazing. Those things keep turning up in my life all the time. Number sequences. I wished I had real people here that I could talk to. I would like to look at your facial expression, your eyes, your body language. I'd like to be able to sit and take breaths and sip tea and talk slower, but I am almost desperate to get some of my experiences out there, preserved while I can, and there's so many. So this is just a little introduction. I have now lived in this house for 11 years. Oh, the painting, the picture that I drew, I only did pen and ink, and then I started doing pastel. I'll show you a painting, which was the first painting I've ever done, that I did shortly after I moved here. Let's see if I can get this in. Oh, how do you do that? Okay, there it is. I'm going to zoom into, since I can't see what I'm doing, try to. I don't ever plan when I do, I just do. And the story that it told me after I finished it is her supposedly posing as a nice little curtain was really a shroud. And the window, which was locked and newspapered and taped over, she discovers this hidden key and opens it. She sees the light coming through the paper. Can you see? Oh, I might have to take another video since I'm looking from behind the thing. Anyway, when I did it, see the eternity clip, which was binding her hair, and the one sitting down. the clip that's taken out and the hair flowing, and I had 6 children, and it's my journey. Interesting is when I did the painting, I cut out little pieces of newspaper where the newspaper is like peeling up under the paint, revealing that there is another world out there. I just cut out small pieces of paper. I can't even read them. I'm too old for that. One fell in my lap, and if you can look closely, but it says Joy, which is my middle name. And a friend read it to me. I wrote it back when I entered a contest and took first place, but it said something like, a woman hears an ancient voice, yes you can, and something to that effect. I could wrote it down. Anyway, I'm chattering. I'm sorry. This is just quick. I'll do this sometime later when I know what I'm doing. Yeah, but it's very revealing. That was my first painting. Obviously, I'm definitely not afraid of color anymore. Take a quick spin around the house, and later I may talk about other paintings and their significance. When I paint, I don't know what it means. Like, I don't set out to do something, but afterwards I learn a lot because it teaches me. I'm scanning and I can't see it because I had it towards me. There's a way to do this. Okay, that's a crazy, chattery old woman giving you that's not the Reader's Digest version, is it? But it really is compared to all that's connected with it. Much has happened in the last 11 years since I've lived here. Wow, it's like several different lifetimes. We're in lockdown, and I've been in my house for 4 months now. Just recently, I saw some people. A daughter and her boyfriend were on a trip, and they stopped in and visited. And recently, another daughter and her kids showed up kind of unexpectedly. Other than that, I've been by myself. There's been so much that have happened, and there's so much I need to share. That's an intro for whatever it's worth. But there's some really important experiences that need to be recorded and preserved. So we'll see if I can get brave enough to do it. I can't just do sweetness, light, and flowers. I mean, that's, my core. I'm the aging flower child. And there are people who say that I coined that phrase, and it's possible. But, I have no hidden agenda. I have just enough ego to survive, just kind of barely. I can balance my checkbook, and I live very simply on a fixed income, and I can stretch $1. And I am grateful for a lot of the challenges and tough things in my life that have, if I hadn't had them, I wouldn't have become creative and resourceful. And it's like what I'm going through now. I've been preparing for this my whole life. It's a time, wow, there's so much I want to share. I will share more. But there are amazing things happen. There's forces that absolutely want to destroy sentient beings, and it's a war on consciousness. And it's very well disguised, and predators usually are quite well disguised. They carry signs that say peace and safety and such. And sometimes it's hard to tell. I've been deceived, and I've been wrong, since I have an open mind, but not so much that my brain falls out on the floor, I assure you. But it was very liberating. For many years, I had a fixed belief system written in stone, and it got me through a lot. And I miss so much of that sense of community, that security of knowing what it's all about. And anyway, it got me through a lot of tough things, but it was liberating to finally say again, I don't know. I don't know. I know what I know. I don't know what I don't know. But to say you believe something, just I believe this, is really to kind of chain yourself to your ignorance in some aspect. I'm not talking about faith. I plant a garden, for heaven's sakes. I put seeds in the ground. I have a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith and trust in the wisdom, the benevolent wisdom of the universe. I believe that when all else is shaken and everything falls away, the only thing that will be left is pure love. That word, we don't have one in English. That pure love. Pure truth is beauty, is love. Oh, it's the only thing I really believe in. So, since I didn't know, and there's so much I don't know, I have more time than most people, and I spend more time than most people are willing to, going down the rabbit holes, looking for truth without an agenda in mind, except to find out the truth. There's a lot of things that have happened in my life that I've questioned and have never talked to about with anybody, that recently I found out other people had those same experiences, that I'm not alone. And I'm going, wow, all right, now what do I do? Who can I talk to? So this is the next step. This is a practice, taking a video of me doing something other than shooting pictures of my garden. It's crazy, and I'll probably delete it, but maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just put it out there, inviting, I miss having a tribe community that I belong to. I know I belong to we're all connected to everybody else and everything and all. That's nice. But my perception right now, I'd like an organic, gigantic, organic friends, that you can look into their eyes and have a hug and hold their hands. In my vision field, organic friends and support system in my vision field. People say, she lives in her own little world, and the old saying, but that's all right, they know me there. Well, that's very true, but it's getting damn lonely. So this is a message out to the cosmos. I am here, like the old Horton Hears a Who. Remember the little Who's? I am here, we are here, we are here, I'm here. And I'm not doing a beam me up Scotty anymore, because this is everything that's unfolding, even the good, bad, and the ugly, is exactly what's needed. It's going to force some of us, pull back the curtain into questioning and being open to find that next step in this multidimensional universe that we live in. Things are not necessarily what they seem to be, but there's wonderful things coming, beautiful, beyond imagination things. I know this. I might tell you how I know. I may tell you about it later if I get brave enough. I send out loving vibes for healing and health and clarity and courage and most of all, peace. Thank you. If you've watched this video all the way through, I thank you very much. I wish you well. Thank you. Blessings. Bye.